Today we're going to be making one of my most favorite things, roasted pecans. But not just any type of roasted pecan. Today we'll be making butter roasted spiced pecans. They're delicious, versatile, and so simple to make. So come on into my kitchen and make these along with me. Hi everyone, I'm Christine Deshanga and I'm on a journey to lose 150 pounds through a ketogenic lifestyle. And one of my most favorite snacks to nibble on is pecans. I buy them raw so that they don't have any inflammatory oils added to them that roasted nuts often do. I like to roast them myself, and I like to do them in several different ways, and today we'll be making butter roasted spiced pecans. There's only a few simple ingredients that you probably already have in your kitchen, and they're absolutely scrumdiddlyocious delicious. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on that little notification bell. Set it to all so that you never miss a notification whenever I upload a new video. And please also smash that like button to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment if you have any questions. So let's get into what the ingredients are. So I have my ingredients here. Of course we need butter. I'm using salted butter because these are a savory pecan, so we want salted butter. I'm using fresh ginger because that's what I happen to have. If you have powdered ginger, you can use that too, and I'll leave the separate measurement for powdered or dried ginger in the description box below, as well as all the full measurements of all the ingredients. That'll all be in the description box below. So we have our fresh ginger, our salted butter, our pink Himalayan sea salt, which I have already ground here, and cinnamon. Now, of course, if you want these to be extra spicy, you can add a little bit of cayenne pepper or any type of hot spice that you like.
That's a spicy meatball!
And pecans. Now, I get my pecans at Costco. I find that it's the best price for the amount that you get. These are raw pecans. There's no salt or oil on them, and there's 8 cups in the bag, and it's reasonably priced. You can also find these online, or if you have a local bulk food store, I'm sure you could find them there as well. They're pretty easy to come across, and they're an excellent nut to have when you're living a ketogenic lifestyle because they have a lot of good healthy fats and protein and vitamins and minerals. So you will also need a microwavable safe bowl or dish. You can also use a very large measuring cup that can go in the microwave, that's fine. Your measuring utensils for our ingredients, and a spatula or stir stick of some sort. You will also need a non-stick cooking pan. What I'm using here today is a half sheet. If you do not have a non-stick pan, that's fine because there's going to be enough butter here that they won't stick anyway. But if you wanted to make your cleanup a lot easier, you can line your baking pan with parchment. Not wax paper, but parchment paper, okay? So whether or not you say pecans or pecans, you're going to really love this recipe. And it's really very simple to make. It whips up pretty quickly, and roasted pecans are delicious to use as a snack, or you can sprinkle them on a salad as a substitute for a crouton. You can put them in other recipes, savory or sweet recipes that you want a pecan flavor to. So they're really quite versatile, and they store well at room temperature for quite a while, if they last. They're delicious, so they might not last very long. Okay, so I'm going to measure out my butter and get it heating in the microwave. Okay, so I have my butter here. It doesn't have to be room temperature or anything because we're going to melt it in the microwave. If you don't want to use a microwave or you don't have a microwave, that's fine. You can do it in a small saucepan or a frying pan on the stove on medium heat until it's melted. You want it to be completely melted. So I'm just going to pop this into the microwave for 30-second bursts until it's completely melted and liquefied. Okay, so you can see here that my butter is completely melted. It's hot and toasty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spices and my salt, so my freshly grated ginger, my pink Himalayan sea salt, and my cinnamon, and I'm just going to dump them right into the butter and stir it up. So you just want to make sure that the cinnamon and the salt and the ginger are getting mixed thoroughly. You don't want any lumps. The cinnamon tends to lump up, and if you're using powdered ginger, it will also tend to lump up. So you just want to get that mixed through. I also have my oven preheating on 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 150 degrees Celsius or centigrade. You want to make sure that your oven rack or shelf is upper middle of your oven because the pecans have a lot of healthy fats in them, so they can burn quite easily. So you don't want your oven rack to be too low because we don't want our pecans to burn. So now that this is thoroughly mixed through, you can see that there's no lumps. Because I've used fresh ginger, you can still see the fresh ginger grated there, but everything is thoroughly mixed. So now I'm going to add in 3 cups of my pecans. Perfect. So we're going to stir our pecans into the butter and spice mixture, making sure that they're thoroughly coated. So you just want to go down, around, and scoop, so you're scooping up the spiced butter. Now, like I said, you can add any spices that you like to this. If you would like it a little more on the hot spicy side, of course, add a little bit of cayenne pepper or chili flakes. If you wanted these to be more of a tandoori style, you could add tandoori spices. Or Mexican, you can go with fajita seasoning. Whatever type of savory spices that you like, you can just swap out the cinnamon and ginger, keep the salt and keep the butter, and add your seasonings or spices of choice. Okay, so we're thoroughly mixed now. You can see that there's no butter pooling in the bottom. Pecans have lots of nice nooks and crannies on them. Those nooks and crannies! So they really hold on to the butter nicely. And quite simply, I'm just going to pour the pecans onto the pan. Make sure to get every last drop of the delicious butter. Now what we're going to do is we're going to spread the pecans out evenly. We do not want them pooling on top of each other or stacked on top of each other, because we want a nice even roasting. Of course, some of them are small broken pieces. That's fine. That's not going to affect anything. Just keep our eye on them so that they don't burn. So you just need to take a moment and do this. Just flatten them out as much as possible. There you go. It don't have to be fancy, people. It don't have to be fancy. Fancy was my name. But it will be delicious. Okay, so now we're just going to put these into the oven, and we are going to roast them for the first 10 minutes. And then we're going to take them out, stir them, salt them more. That is optional, but remember these are savory, so I want a lot of salty flavor. So we're going to put them in right now for 10 minutes.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Time to take them out and give them a stir. You can see that they're getting nice and bubbly. The butter is starting to bubble up and caramelize a little bit from the milk solids in the butter. So we're just going to stir these, being careful not to burn ourselves. And I'm also going to add more salt. Now, I did mention that this is optional to add more salt, but because these are a savory pecan, we want to add lots of flavor. And of course, pink Himalayan sea salt has a lot of minerals and electrolytes in it that we need on keto. So you need to make sure that you're getting enough of your electrolytes and salt in. So I'm just going to stir these up. It may seem like I'm adding a lot of salt, but some of the seasoning does fall off, so in the end it's not really a lot. And back into the oven they go for another 10 minutes.
A few minutes later.
Okay, that's round 2 of roasting. Time to take them out and see what we're working with here. So as you can see, there's not as much bubbling butter, which means that the milk solids in the butter have started to caramelize more. The butter has began to evaporate, and the butter fat has started to absorb into the pecans. So we're going to salt them again, stir them up, perhaps salt them again, and flatten them out for another round. By the way, I purchased my pink Himalayan sea salt at Dollarama. That's a dollar store here in Canada. It's, I think, let's see, $2.50 for a large bottle. It comes in a grinder, but because it's from the dollar store, sometimes the grinder isn't very good quality, so I just put it into my own salt grinder and use it that way. Keto does not have to be expensive, so that's why I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so we've salted them. We're just going to stir them up. You can see that there's a lot less, pooling of the butter at this point because it is getting absorbed into the pecans. Pecans, tomato. It's all the same to me, and it's all delicious in my tummy. Alright, we're looking good. Now you can see that the pecans are getting nicely browned. Lovely. They're a little bit more on the crisper side from the sound of them. I don't know if it's really picking up with the camera, but they do sound a little more crisp. But they're not burnt. Okay, we do not want to burn these. I said it before and I'll say it again. Don't burn your pecans.
Don't worry, folks. I'm a fire marshal.
Okay, so we're just gonna flatten them out again. Okay, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. A little more salt. Here we go. Back in the oven. Ooh. Delicious. I think I said delicious enough in my last cooking video, which was the best keto flatbread to ever touch your lips. I'll leave a link to that video up there in case you haven't seen it yet. That's another great recipe. Into the oven we go. Ten more minutes, but this time, because they're almost done, we're going to keep a close eye on them. So check them at 5 minutes, because you may need to take them out at that point. But we're setting our timer for 10.
One eternity later.
I did end up going with the full 10 minutes on the third round. I did check them at the 5-minute mark, and I decided to let them go a little longer. So now we're going to take them out of the oven. Look at those. Don't those look delicious? There's that word again. Delicious.
Delicious. Will you stop that, please?
They're so yummy. Oh my goodness. Now, if you wanted them to stay at this level of brown, there you go, then that's great. You could roast them a little longer if you like. So they're pretty much done right now. I think that I would like mine to be a little more on the crisp side, so I'm actually going to put them back in for another 5 minutes. Okay, so our last 5 minutes is up. I just wanted that extra little bit of crisp on them, so I'm going to take them out of the oven now. They should be done. Oh yeah. Yummy. Hear the sizzle? Yum. Let's give a quick little last salt just to seal the deal. Turn my timer off. Hear that sound? They are definitely crisp now. So now all we have left to do is to just set them aside to cool. Now you want to let them cool at room temperature. Don't put them in the fridge because that's going to add moisture back into them that we don't want. So we're just going to let them sit aside at room temperature to cool. It will probably take an hour or so. That's fine. Maybe a little longer, depends on the temperature in your home, of course. But then once they're totally cooled, we're going to come back for a taste test, and then we'll be done. Okay, so we're back. Our pecans have cooled. As you can see, I'm not burning myself no more. They have dried a little bit as they sat to cool. They're still glistening with the butter and the spices and the seasonings. But we're going to give a little taste test because I can't wait any longer. Buttery deliciousness. Salty, crunchy, buttery. You get a hint of the cinnamon flavor. You get a slight kick from the ginger. I don't know if you can hear the crunch. Let me get a big one. There's a big one. Do the YouTuber thing. It's a big one. They're so good. They're finger licking good. So now all you need to do is store these in an airtight container. You can use a mason jar if you want to go with glass. I typically use a Ziploc bag so that way I can squeeze all the air out. So you just want to scoop them in there, maybe label your container with what's inside. So on here I'll just write Butter Roasted Spiced Pecans, possibly put the date, depends on the mood I'm in. These will last a while. Like I said earlier, keep them at room temperature. Do not put them in the fridge because that will make them soggy. If you happen to have a food desiccant pack, you can throw one of those in, but it's not really necessary. They will stay crisp because they've basically been roasted and fried in butter, so, you know. But put them in your airtight container. Keep them on the side. They will last typically 3 weeks. You're good. Mine don't generally last that long because I like to have them frequently. I do pepper them into a lot of my meals. Pecans are high calorie. And then we've added butter to it. So the calorie count on the serving size is a little high. Typically you're going to want to have about 2 tablespoons or a small handful. The serving size on the nutrition label for the raw pecans is 1/4 cup, but that's not really necessary if you're using it as a crouton substitute or if you're just having it on the side of a charcuterie board. So typically a couple of tablespoons is more than enough. I will try my best to put the macros in the description box along with the measurements for the recipe. But yes, enjoy these. Like I said, put them on salad. You can have them with charcuterie boards as a crunchy, salty side. You can also use them in other savory dishes. They're very versatile. Enjoy them. Let me know what you think of them. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell. Change it to all so you never miss an upload. Like this video with thumbs ups. Share this video. Sharing is caring. And let me know what you think of them. Taste them, try them. If you change your seasonings, I want to know too what you used and how they turned out. Because I really love pecans, I'm thinking of making this the first video in a series of pecans. So let me know, do you want to see more pecan recipes? Or pecan recipes? Tomato, tomato, here we go again. Let me know in the comments and I'll see you again soon. Okay? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give yourself license to keto. Bye for now. Mwah! Delicious. 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 Oh no! I forgot to say follow me on Instagram. Link below. But these are delicious. Delicious.